Okay, here are the white gold angels that I've been raising. They're up to about 3 weeks? Yeah, we'll say 4 weeks old. They're now, some of the bigger ones are getting their angelfish shape, getting more vertical. But they're doing pretty well. There's actually 2 batches of Paleatus cori fry in here. Here you can see in the front a couple of big black blotches, and then in the middle there's one of the smaller fry. The Paleatus seem to lay just a few eggs, 20 or so, once a week. So I'm growing them up. These guys just about too big. I'm trying to figure out where to move them to next. Out here, the blue dream shrimp that used to be babies are growing up. They're a month old, so they're getting to be full-grown adults. I'll move them down to the main blue dream tank here shortly so I can clean up this, but they are eating the algae slowly, so I'm not sure if I'll leave all this algae. There's a couple assassin snails that have grown up in this tank. They don't care a bit for the algae. They're not like your regular snails, I guess. In here I have a few of the firecracker guppy fry, and I caught these black, half black and blue diamond guppies eating several of the shrimp babies, so I moved them up here. I noticed they were, since I moved the blue dreams to that 20-gallon, that they weren't breeding steadily. They were just kind of maintaining their population. And then I caught at least the large female chowing down on several shrimp. They just weren't running away when she came up to them. So anyway, this tank has really overgrown with this wisteria. It's almost choked out this dwarf sage. It's spread along the bottom, but not gotten much height to it. So I need to go through and prune this out, I guess. I do like the tall trees that form up out of it, but there's not a lot. These albino cories have staked this front part as their territory and kept the wisteria at bay. Somewhere in there is more Paleatus. Let's say they were born in October, so that's what, 9 months old. I haven't found them laying eggs, and the albinos, they laid eggs a couple of times in this tank when I first moved them in here, and haven't since. But I haven't really been trying to flush them with cool water or anything, which I need to get them back breeding with the Paleatus. This is the primary blue dream tank that I was talking about with the guppies eating. Oh, there's a young one. This one had a bunch of, it's not that cloudy bacterial bloom, but it was debris actually floating around, so I put this old hang-on back filter to polish the water up. It's starting to clear up, still a bit cloudy. And there's one red. Sometimes these blue dreams do throw other colors, red and almost all clear. I'll call that one. I've sold a lot of my blue dreams in getting ready for that other tank, that 10-gallon tank growing out. So the population is thinned down, but like I said, I've got a couple hundred or something in this tank to fish out. I don't know, when you net out shrimp, is it fishing or netting the or shrimping the shrimp? Anyway, this koi female, I removed the platinum and put in this super red. These hopefully get them to pair up. She spawned with that platinum 3 times, and I'm raising 2 batches of fry, so I figured that was enough of the white gold marbles fry, and hopefully get them on track here in the next couple of weeks. The double dark Pinoy, they just laid eggs last night, and I've added the sand this week. This Nubius Nana has been shriveling back a bit. There's still plenty of green leaves, so these older ones I hope are just dying off. Hopefully not the whole thing. But I put the sand in to plant these Ludwigia and whatever that is. I need to find one of these websites to help ID the plants. This one actually has even grown through the surface over the last 4 or 5 days, and it's still growing up almost to the lid. And let's see, the firecracker guppies. See, they a couple of weeks ago had a batch of about 50 babies. I pulled some and put them in that 10-gallon in the beginning. There's these 2 females are very plump. Should be releasing their more fry here in the next week or so. I had one of them. She looked like she was ready, squared off. I put her in this Marita hang-on breeder box, but she didn't release the fry. I think it was this one hiding in the corner. And I've got 3 green and gold cories somewhere back there hiding in the sponge filter. They've refused to lay any eggs as well. I guess it may be too busy with all these guppies. Although my Paleatus will lay eggs with any other fish in the tank. So I'm not sure why they haven't. I was going through the bloodworms, power feeding them, and cool water, running in every couple of days, but it never quite triggered them to get started. So anyway, here's the second batch of white gold marble from the koi and platinum. They've been free swimming several days here, so I need to get them out and into a regular tank. my primary breeding group of Paleatus. I think they're still just getting comfortable. I had, speaking of those half black guppies, I had several guppies in here, and the fire red shrimp just never really bloomed with babies. They had a few here and there. I've moved most of those outside into the ponds, and since then, like here on top, it's really helped out the shrimp population. Of course, this tank doesn't have much plants for the baby shrimp to hide, but so it's definitely important to either hide in places or grow only shrimp. Guppies will eat them. The cories don't seem to be bothering the shrimp, so that's good. At least I can mix them with those. This is awfully big tank for just shrimp, but I need to do something to get these ram's horns under control. I may buy a new 40 breeder so I could tear this one down and let it dry out for a couple of months. I'm not even sure if that'll be enough to kill ram's horn eggs in there. And then my guppy train. There's a red mosaic male. I bought a batch of fry from him, but only 2 turned out to be red mosaics like I had ordered. So I really need to get another trio or something from him to really have. The female is good, but she's just the yellow tail, and so far her fry also just had yellow tails. So I think that's covers most of what I've been doing last week. Let's see, Roma Aquatics had a new design for the overflow pipe. I've been trying to get it to work on a couple of these tanks. You know, I did a small version here, in there, in this 10-gallon. I found that I haven't been able to get it to work as small a setup as he had. The length of the pipe from the holes down, or this lower section below the T where it'll come out, when I had him maybe half the size, it would lose the siphon in the plastic tube, and so I had to go deeper, but this one still just won't maintain that siphon across the tube. So I don't know if this section still is not long enough. On this one you can see I made it, the lower section below the T, extremely long, just out of frustration, and it worked. So, and another issue is maintaining the section inside here. If we look, you know, I had to pin it kind of with this lid. It still wobbled, and I got it pinned between the wall on the outflowing part of the tube and down below in the corner of the tank. That's one thing with the previous version I had. Since it ran the entire length down to the floor of the tank, it would maintain its position there. I did make one smaller one here for the 40-gallon, but the T was facing the wrong way. It was facing to the left when I needed it to go to the right to be in the corner out of the way. And so I've got it here in the middle temporarily. And then that's why I was building this one, so it could sit in the tank like this. The T to the right, to the drain, the holes I have drilled in the drain line. I decided to go with these overflows for the large 40-gallon tanks rather than drilling them, just to maintain that resellable factor if I ever want to take them down, which that's another. All these ram's horns, if anybody wants them, I don't think I have them on my Aquabid page, but I should. If you got a puffer fish or you just like them, they breed like crazy. No problem raising them. I'm not even sure where I got them in the first place. The best theory I had is that they came with this substrate that I had bought or got for free off not Craigslist. It was actually Reddit. But the rocks were all dry. A person had it in a tub, and I didn't think, for months I guess, to dry out. I didn't think they would be able to survive, but they started in this tank shortly after I did it. I had the black sand in here, so I need to either dismantle it, clean it out really good, and then start over. But that would require all this wisteria to get rid of any eggs. I'd have to leave it in 5-gallon buckets or something for a couple of months to make sure, because I've tried bleach dips. Nothing seems quite 100%. It does get them down 90%, but after a few months, like this tank, I bleach dipped all this driftwood plants, and still there's a few of the tiny mini ram's horn snails or limpet snails. So that's, I think, a couple of my projects I have going on this week. May move all these firecracker cuppies outside so I can use this tank for raising the angels. Yeah, I think I will. Okay, well, be sure to tune in next week. We'll see how all these projects, hopefully I can get the overflows working and rescape these 240-gallon tanks. Alright. So long.